we're just going to sit down and we're going to paint a little bit. And I thought maybe it'd be neat if you guys could see what it was like. And right away I can say I don't like this brush. So I'm simply going to get a different one. Be comfortable with your brushes. Be comfortable. But we're going to paint my next character, which is part of our Escalation League. We're supposed to paint our models as we go. If you haven't seen my army video where I talk about that a little bit, or haven't been to the Facebook page, it's all up there. It's all about that. I'm just going to be painting this Gotrek model. He is actually going to be a dwarf slayer in my army. So we'll just go through that. And we're just going to pretty much do the skin today, which I guess you could say this is kind of a tutorial. I don't know if you want to see my wet palette I'm working on. It's going to be out of focus 90% of the time. But today we're just doing skin, and I kind of do all my skin the same. It just depends on what kind of tone I'm doing. We're doing dwarf skin, so it's not going to be like Caucasian. It's going to be like, it's hard to say. It's going to be a darker white, or darker Caucasian. It's going to be like I don't know, I'm not sure what a darker Caucasian person was. I guess a Caucasian person with a tan, if you want to go that route. That's essentially what we're going to do. I've already watered my paint down, and you can see it is fairly thin in some places. That is totally fine. If you aren't doing multiple coats, I strongly urge you to thin your paints and do multiple coats. Things look so much better. You can get so many different tones. You can get so many different layers in your model. As you also notice, I am holding this model with my hand. I have a paintbrush stand to do like single models, and I think it's a waste of time. I think it's just harder to paint that way, at least for me. Question about why I do black base coats, and it literally is simplicity. It's so much easier to miss something and not have to come back in way later and fix that problem. Kind of bouncing all over the place. I am holding my model upside down. Let's raise it up, blah, blah, blah. It's just because it's easier to get into some of these spots. And I don't like the paint stand because I really like to hold onto the model myself and have full control over what I'm doing with my own hands. Some of this model I started painting a while ago, and I just stopped to work on the minors, I think. Or maybe it was the other units. I don't remember why I did what I did. It's been a minute. This little medallion, I'm not super worried about his bracelet here or the medallion, because I'm going to come back in and change the color of those. Flat iron is not a good color for those. I don't know why I did the metal first. I should have done the skin colors first, because those are some of the harder pieces to get to, I think. And you're going to see I get skin color in some of these. These I will have to come back and touch up. If this was a rank and file model, I might not. I might just turn the other cheek and let it be. But since it's not, I'm going to do my best to get the colors to be fairly decent. Especially seeing as I'm probably going to be using this model quite a bit. Huge Gotrek and Felix fan. I'm using him for all the Age of Sigmar fans that are probably going to see this. I'm not using for Age of Sigmar. Obviously he's on a square base. I'm using him as my Slayer, my lone character Slayer, for Warhammer Fantasy. I personally am pretty excited for the 9th Age. It's still many years off. I know you probably have seen me comment or post about something somewhere, but I think I loved 8th edition. I still do. It's still one of my favorite editions. There were things from every edition that I liked and disliked, but I don't know if it was just because it's the one I've played the absolute most, or if it like was a time in my life when I connected with a lot more people and had a lot more fun. I know we went to a couple tournaments in the States here around us. We're in the Midwest, and we met some crazy awesome people on the road. It might have just been like one of those things where you're like, yeah, the time of my life was better than it was here or there, or I had more experiences with it. But with 8th edition fantasy, I almost want to say it's not my love child, but I have spent a considerable amount of time, and it still is my favorite system. There's many reasons. I know a lot of people dislike horde mode in the game. They think that it's all about infantry and power gaming, but I mean, it depends. Every faction has something they could cheese if they wanted to. There's ones that have a harder time, like Beastmen and Bachonian. Tomb Kings especially. I would almost say the Tomb Kings are probably the weakest army that you could play. They have tricks up their sleeves that they can pull off, but it's pretty much they can do that one time against one opponent, and then they're going to know that that's their only trick. But every game has its rock, paper, scissors mechanic where you're going to fight an army, you're going to play a game, and there's going to be a very low chance of you winning that particular game because of who you're matched against. It doesn't even have to be about the player. It could be literally that the build or the list that you took is just inferior, and there's just nothing you can do about it. It's just gonna be a crap show. You're gonna show up and you're gonna roll terribly. I'm like all over the place with my talking. Yeah, so we're just gonna do a short first layer on the skin here, get the base color in. It's looking like it's only gonna take me 2 coats, which is good. I don't often have to do a 3rd coat. There are some times where I will. I don't know, the paint will be thin and I just don't like the consistency. But most of the time I can do 2 coats and that's the exact thickness I want. Oops. Speaking about thinning your paints, there's so many videos you could watch about that, but what I do is I just dip my brush into the cup, twist the point as it's coming out. I have a wet palette, and I gotta be honest, I absolutely love this wet palette. You can see I have a bajillion colors on here, and that's probably not the way to do it, but that's how I've been doing it. And maybe it's just me being lazy and I don't want to change the pad out. But I would almost say that 50-50 water to paint is pretty close. But I've done so much painting, I can just tell when I put my brush in the paint ink if it's something I'm gonna like, or if the coat's not right. It's just something you gotta practice with. Which leads me to another thing I was thinking of. I remember one person was saying, oh, there's a comic, I can't find the comic. Someone brought up this question, how many models have you painted and all that? And the comic, I can't find it now. I wanted to find it and share it with that person, but the comic had said, there's a little guy approached this dude in the comic and he says, oh, I can't believe I've painted all these drawings and I'm just not as good at drawing as you are. And it shows the pile that the kid was painting, and it was like, I don't know, 40 drawings or something. It was just like a stack of papers. And the guy's like, don't worry, you'll get there soon. And behind the dude that the kid was talking to, that's a great painter, is like thousands upon thousands of drawings. And that's very true. I'm not like an amazing painter. I think I do okay. But I've been painting a long time. Most of my life, I would say, actually. I've probably been painting for over 20 years. Come and go. I can't tell you how many models I've painted. Thousands, easily. But I've just been painting the same way. And I would almost say that it's the exact same as the heavy metal group and their style. But that's not entirely true. They don't do a whole lot of wet blending, and I've definitely moved more into wet blending now. In my brush. Do I lick the brush? Sometimes. I did this one because I wanted to have a really fine point. But you don't have to lick the brush. That's just something I like to do sometimes. So this is 2 coats. The lighting's okay in here. But you'll see this is a dark color. This is actually Bugman's Glow. I shake the crap out of these things. But also Bugman's Glow that's had a little bit of brown mixed into it because of this web palette. And that's why I like this web palette. I like pulling old colors from this palette. This particular sheet's probably 2 or 3 weeks old, and it still works. It's still a bit moist. I might actually add water underneath it to get some more fluidity into this paint. Some of this paint, yeah, that's not even all the way dry. It's slightly tacky, so I can still use some of them. But I figured, you know, we'll give it a shot. I'll try and do a sit and talk, and we'll see what we do. We'll do color by color. We did Bugman's Glow on this. That's the base color. We're going to come in. I may do this. I'm probably going to do it off camera so it has dry time. But I will do a wash of Reichland Flesh Shade, and then we'll come in with Cadian Glow and mix these two together, and then we'll start doing pinks and reds on like the nose and the cheeks, and we'll go from there. We'll see if you guys like the video series. If you do, great. If you don't, I'll just stop doing it. But I figured this would be a good time to do it. This is Jordan from the Knights of Knee. You guys have a great day.